You just talked about the payment. You said they are paid well enough. But this is Nigeria, where the same police people are not well paid and they don't have a place that they can call a home. So let's come back home and talk about the welfare of the Nigerian police before we talk about an additional 10,000. That's why we're trying to look at the perspective. Yeah, you were a British police officer, but if you try to contrast that with what is happening back home, you understand that there's a clear-cut difference, a big gap. So how well can we make these people that we already have in the Nigeria police force very okay before we talk about having an increase in the force?
Yeah, I'm going to answer your question directly. There is a school of thought, this is not my opinion, that says the Nigerian society, whether you like it or not, has this dominance of the military. So basically, the military has taken most of the security service jobs, and the police are just there. It's supposed to be the other way around, but the military are so powerful that most of the equipment and most of the funding probably goes to them. That is what that school of thought says. And we need to respect the welfare of the police officers, and we need to encourage the police officers also that you can also further develop yourself to be the best you can to get bigger. As I said to you before, you cannot have certain qualifications. You can be in the service for 40 years, but because of your poor development, because you don't pass, like me, in 1 year, I took over 25 qualification courses to be better. Over 25. It's my personal choice to be better in my service, to learn more about counterterrorism and other segments.
And Vince, if you still look inwards, looking what happens here, you have so many that have taken the pains to on their own further their education, but you also have to ask yourself, how many of them do get this? They call it conversion from what level you are on at the moment. Maybe as a recruit, you have gone ahead to get more qualifications and degrees. Do they get their promotion as frequently as it should be?
Yes, certainly. There could be a very big gap there. And one of the solutions I can give to them straight up is when you are recruiting police officers, obviously they don't just recruit frontline police officers. They do recruit business developers, business performance managers, accountants, lawyers, photographers. They need to invest more to recruit auditors that can look at the police of each and every of the 370,000 police officers. They should be able to look at their background. When they started, are they where they're supposed to be? What lessons did they need to learn? If they can do such an audit, maybe once every 2 years or once every year, that way they can get a very good perspective of if each and every police officer is getting what he or she deserves. There should be a governance department that looks after all these development programs and development and performance and promotion of all these police officers. That Solomon Arase can probably get a better perspective of each and individual police officer's development and promotion obligations.
Well, Vince, those who will be interviewing this 10,000 people who will be joining the police force, what kind of things should they be looking out for?
I think, first of all, they need to be able to bring human resources experts that can be able to do justice to this. If you don't bring HR experts that understands the job, it's going to be a problem. Number two, we should be looking at the issue of merit. All right. Now, there are a lot of police officers that are in service, not real experienced police officers. They don't want to learn because the way they came to the police force was easy for them. They had no passion for the job. They've got no skills for the job, and they're not interested to develop their skills. We need to ask the recruiters to recruit credible people that have got passion, that have got love, that are willing, ready to do this job. That's number two. At number three, the process has to be fair to all. I don't want to have the experience of setting, like if you look at issues of like getting into federal government colleges in Nigeria. Certain states like Anambra State has to score 136 or 139. Imo State has to score about 138. But somebody from Zamfara has to score like 2 or 4. We don't want to encourage that kind of issue. Like when you come to university UMEs, some people have to score higher score points to get into law. Some others have to score lower points. When you have to recruit police officers, it has to be fair to all. You cannot tell certain states of Nigeria to score higher and other states score lower. Then you're not talking about meritocracy. You're talking about mediocrity. And then finally, when it comes to the training college, I think we need to get people that, like my trainers, they will drop into you a seed of performance, a seed of professionalism, a seed that you and understand the common laws, understand the constitution of Nigeria. That is what is supposed to be trained and groomed and tested and seasoned to deliver for Nigerians as a police officer.
You know, what you find in UK, for instance, I mean, you get to see police officers who are in a certain community. They almost know everyone who is there. They know if you're new in that area. And now we're talking about community policing to the extent that you just know those who are around you. How should this template be if we really want to emphasize on ensuring that community policing comes to stay?
Yeah, fantastic. I think there's certain things I need to mention. You can see in Nigeria, a police officer or an army officer going home from work. You see them wearing their uniform. In my service, if you're leaving the office, you are taking off your uniform. Yes, you can wear your trousers, but you're going to wear a mufti on top. You don't need to tell your community or your neighbors your career. Some of them could know, but you don't need to advertise yourself, because when you advertise yourself, you can make yourself a target for violence when criminals want to invade your local. That's number one. Number two, community policing is something that Nigeria hasn't practiced. And it breaks my heart to see people that say, I'm an expert in community policing, but they don't understand the front line of community policing. It is a very dangerous kind of policing, because if you're in your community, for example, if you live somewhere in Surulere in Lagos, you grew up in Surulere, Lagos. If I'm opportune to be part of this strategy, I will not encourage somebody who grew up in Surulere, who lives in Surulere, to be part of community policing. Why? Even though they understand the good, the bad, and the ugly guys, they are still in harm's way as a target for violence. I would encourage people that understand Surulere, that probably schooled in Surulere, done sports at National Stadium Surulere, have lived there for a short time, and then moved on.
All right, Vince. Okay, well, we apologize for this freezing images coming through about this. But Vince, we'll have to just wrap it up. Thank you very much indeed for your thoughts on this particular matter.